Welcome to A Good Life with Soul Haven, presented by Chris Gregg, Samuel Yisrael, and Natasha, the loving chef.
Hello, welcome to another episode of A Good Life at Soul Haven, and once again joined by Natasha and Samuel. Hello, how are you doing today?
We're doing fantastic, thank you.
Good to be back with you, Chris.
Yes, good to see you. So we're going to be talking about Permaculture Principle 11 today, which is about using the edges and valuing the marginals and getting out of our comfort zones, because that's where growth happens. So I'm looking forward to that. So we're going to be putting the garden to bed and a very nice Thai-inspired recipe from the loving chef. So it's going to be a packed show today. Make sure you keep listening. And we are at that point in the year where all the leaves have fallen off the trees and we've got a beautiful sunset tonight because the air is nice and clear. We've had a lot of rain already this month, which must be really good for the garden. And now it kind of feels like we're getting ready for winter. How are things in the garden at the moment?
Wet, soggy, bare.
Or very frozen.
Or very frozen.
Yeah, we've had our own ice rinks going on. Like on the way to school, every puddle is an ice rink, and that's very exciting and also terrifying as a parent just to kind of try and negotiate those in the morning. So for people that are listening for the first time, let's do an introduction to Soul Haven. Take us through, what is Soul Haven?
That's a really good question. Thank you, Chris. So we're based in Malton, just outside Northampton. Soul Haven is an award-winning community centre committed to building sustainable people. We believe that sustainability isn't just about the planet, but it was also a very deep and personal individual people's journey as well. So our sole mission is very, very simple: to share practical tools, resources and experiences that help people reconnect with themselves and the nature within, empowering them to become more happier and healthier, empowered up here at Soul Haven.
Which is lovely, and you've got that beautiful garden there. You've got your yurts. Is the yurt still up in the winter, or do you kind of pack some bits away for the colder weather?
Oh, it's still up. It's still running. Oh my gosh, yeah. So we still run Plan the Mind in there, and we still run our drumming sessions, drumming circles in there as well.
I guess the drumming warms people up. You can't have cold fingers when you're busy beating your drum. Okay, well that is brilliant. And we're going to get straight into it on today's show. We're talking about Permaculture Principle 11, which is all about using the edges and valuing the margins in life. So take us through that, please.
So in nature, the edges are often the most rich areas because they're the areas that are untouched. You know, there may be lots of wildlife, lots of things, lots of diversity in these areas, lots of richness, and they're often the places where things meet. You know, two different things converge, and that kind of gives the same with people. You know, we find there's places in our lives, the time between one thing and another thing, or we discover areas where we can find these new ideas, new perspectives and opportunities that we haven't seen before, because they're on our kind of peripherals of things that we don't see. They're not our normal everyday experience.
So it's important to kind of come out of your comfort zone. If you're used to always doing what's predictable, to sometimes push yourself and try some things that maybe are a bit less familiar, a bit less comfortable.
Yes, yeah, that's right. So it's about, you know, it's about embracing that unease, change. You know, growth doesn't happen with doing the same thing all the time. You know, I experienced this when I went through problems that I had earlier this year. I had a neck problem. I couldn't do a lot of things. So then I was in bed a lot and doing things very differently. And I was in that space of kind of quietness, and things started to come up that I'd kind of pushed down, and that was like the edges, the things that I'd hidden away. And I thought I dealt with these things. They're all gone now. Oh no, you know, these feelings, these emotions that I'd kind of pushed down, suddenly they had space to come up. There was room, and that was, you know, that was the edge. That was the margin of the things that they were outside of my normal everyday, because I'd pushed them to the edge, out of the way, and then suddenly there was like bang, and it was hard for me. But then it's made me see a lot of things in a different perspective.
Because you can never, it's very hard to completely get rid of everything, and pushing them into the margins, they're still lurking there, just hiding at the side of the page, just sneaking away in the corner of your eye there, just where you can't quite see them, but you just know they're lurking in the shadows. So this is something that you talk about on ploughing the mind, is just kind of bringing everything out into the light and dealing with it.
It's about bringing things out, the things that are uncomfortable to talk about. So, because often we have these well-established paths which are good, then there's things that are unexplored, the things that we don't see, the places that we're unfamiliar with, or we don't want to go to because they're painful. And that's the thing with mental health, or if you experience trauma, often you'll push them down, you'll move them away. But that doesn't mean that they are away. That doesn't mean that they've gone. I was talking to a colleague of mine he'd just gone for a bereavement, and he says it's like there's this box that holds my emotion, and it's got this buzzer on it, and in grief everything's expanded, so every time something moves it's hitting the buzzer, and on more sensitive things, and things are like being more painful because of the buzzer going off more often, because things have expanded, and that's kind of what happens, is that we push things into a box. And when we keep pushing them in, at some point it's either going to become too much, or you'll be in a place of quietness, of something will happen which breaks your normal everyday. That's what happened with me. The busyness, the things, I was always doing stuff I didn't have. I was no longer giving time for my own reflection or meditation, and I wasn't dealing with things, and some of these things that I thought I dealt with, I hadn't completely, and then suddenly, because also the pain lessened my ability to cope with things as well. So my tolerance was lowered. I was more reactive because the pain was more. That buzzer was going off, so I'm in pain, and my emotions are getting more agitated, and then these things start to boil over. There's this thing where they talk about, is your bucket full, and how are you managing your stress bucket? How are you releasing those valves? How are you opening the tap to let that stress out, let that emotion out? And if it's more like a pressure cooker where everything's gone, but your valve on top is broken, and it's building up and building up and building up, and then it's going to explode.
Yeah. And it must be even worse when the things that you'd normally do to release the pressure are the things you can't do because you're bedridden or whatever, and then the whole reason that your bucket's filling up is also the reason that you can't empty it at the same time. And then it's just a vicious cycle that just exactly. It makes complete sense. And I think it's the same. There's so many expressions in life that talk about the same thing. When people say they're at the end of their tether, it's the same thing. You've got a finite tether, and this is what we find with children. The tether can get very stretched sometimes, and it's it's very hard to just kind of stay balanced in those situations.
Because for me, my release was through dancing, through movement, through drumming, and I couldn't move. I couldn't do these things, and I was also in a dark place where anything else new, I was just like, I can't do anything. I can't cope. I'm full. I can't do anything. I don't know. I can't turn the valve on or off. I'm just stuck.
Just still, weren't you?
Yeah, I was just couldn't. Yeah, and. So I mean that's what we talk about, about that thing of being out in nature, being in the. Are you on a common track, or is it, we keep circling the same thoughts and habits, but then there's things that you can control and things you can't, and it's learning to know what you need to let go of. And sometimes these things come to you and then they hit hard, and you've got to balance those choices of do we stay the same. And I had to work through it. I didn't want to stay the same, but I didn't know how to change. So then I had to seek help. I talked to my doctor. I talked to professionals, and looked at things. Being prescribed medication to deal with things, and rather than dealing with things through exercise, and that's how I was traditionally dealing with stuff, was through movement, and then I needed to find a different way.
It's also like getting out your comfort zones to do something different, isn't it?
Yeah.
Like you say, we all have two choices. We can either stay the same or make a change, and embrace the comfort zone. Like comfort zones can either be big, scary, horrible purification, or they can be like an adventure and an experiment, and go and have your own little adventure. But also it's an experimental trial, isn't it? Because we never get everything perfect first. So it's like try and try again. We don't get everything perfect or right in the garden, so we reflect, we tweak, let's do something a little bit different along the way. So we keep trying, and our comfort zone then grows away from us, and then we move towards the comfort zone, and then we move towards the comfort zone again and again as it moves forward along our path.
So it's kind of like stepping stones to get you across the icy puddles in the garden, and then you step from one to the next, but you can't go on to the next one until you've become comfortable with how things are going to be on that stepping stone. And there might all be new experiences that once you've been down the path, coming back the other way is going to be a lot easier, because it's not as unfamiliar anymore.
Yes, that's absolutely. I mean, there's different things that I've learned from looking at things differently. I realised that I was doing, when I was able to do something, I was like doing lots and lots of stuff because suddenly I can do it, and then I'm exhausted and I'm like, oh, I'm in pain. Oh yes, I've done too much. It's like, well, just try something for 2 minutes. Just do some small and little things. It doesn't have to be that big thing. And then, like you say, that new step, I've taken the one step and then I step forward, and then I kind of found my balance for that moment, and then I'm like, right, okay, now I need to take the next step. I'm not quite sure what that is, and I'm finding that's the edges, that uncomfortable bit. I'm looking for the path. I'm taking one step and I can't. It's like that fog. Until I move that forward, I can't see in front of myself until I've moved that little bit forward, and I can see the next bit.
Yeah, and it's a lot easier to just manage one step at a time, isn't it, than look at the final destination. You need to be, just focusing on the immediate when you're in that kind of situation. Just kind of get through every day and deal with every little challenge, and you get there in the end. Absolutely. And you're always going somewhere, even if you're not sure which direction you're moving. You're going somewhere.
Yes. Sometimes it's not always how we think things should do. We sing a song in drumming which have really helped me. It's like, the way will show the way. I don't know the way, but moving in the way, going a certain way will show the way to go.
Yeah. Letting go of the control, isn't it? And actually being within the flow, like nature's in the flow of the water, in the flow. We try and fight against it some of the time because we don't want to go and hit our comfort zones, and we don't want to go and move forward, and we don't want to make our boundaries and things. So it's really quite interesting when you start having a conversation about how our conscious and subconscious work.
It must be very interesting to see lots of different people going through the process when they do ploughing the mind, and just see however different everyone is, everyone's really dealing with the same fundamental things, and you can the same lessons applies to lots of different people and with lots of different issues that they're dealing with in different ways.
Yeah, absolutely. We all have stuff to deal with, but at Plough in the Mind, people begin to realise they're not actually alone, and it may be slightly different things, but overall the underlying current is it's all the same thing: lack of confidence, lack of social community, lack of understanding sometimes, and also the desire to be somebody else and not live out of the control, who controls us, who controls them, but actually just to be ourselves. And sometimes it's a little bit too pressurised just to be ourselves.
Yeah. Well, we've got some tips on things that you can do, practical things that you can do to help you try and step a little bit outside your comfort zone, and kind of deal with some of the things that you might have overlooked that are in the margins. So what are your top 3 tips of things that you can do?
So I've kind of already touched on this. So it's like taking one small action outside your comfort zone each week. Try something new for 2 minutes. You don't have to. It's not about making that big leap, because that's just too big. But that's one small thing that feels a bit uncomfortable. Maybe speaking up or taking a new route, trying that different thing, or you want to start a new hobby. I was, wanting to do drawing and was going to be like this really complicated place. It's like, oh no, just do something really simple. Those small little steps that allow you to build confidence, and through that will open the doors to maybe giving you that new experience that you haven't seen before.
Yeah, I mean, it's like, when you go around to a friend's for visit, and they said, "Oh, do you want a tea or coffee?" and you go, "Oh, I don't mind, whatever you're making." And so many of us do that, myself included in the past, whereas actually we can start by saying the smallest of the small step being, actually, can I have a cup of tea with milk and 2 sugars, please? Rather than, I'll just have whatever it is that you're making. So that then generates the confidence to layer up the confidence for the next time, and then you can start actually voicing what it is that you actually want with the confidence that you're trying to gain.
You see, I'd imagine you would go around and say, please, can I have mint and chamomile tea that's been grown organically, and here's the recipe. You just give this a go.
I'll just go out in your garden, I'll pick my tea.
Yeah. I think, let's not overcomplicate things, though, because they might not invite you around for tea again if you, if you step too far out of the standard options. And what's your second tip?
Yeah, so this comes back to the thing of looking at the things that are overlooked or ignored in your life, these things that I thought I dealt with. So giving time to look at things that you've avoided or you haven't got the energy, something that's hurt you in the past, or maybe a hobby you keep going, oh, I must do that. Something that you've really enjoyed and you just stop doing it because you're too busy. You keep putting it off. That dream, I don't have time for that. So make time. Break it down into the small steps. Notice what you're feeling and stuck at, and think, well, how do I make this simpler? How can I do a small, instead of looking at this big, massive thing? Well, what's the littlest thing I can do that will maybe help me move forward? And that's the marginal areas. Those things that there's maybe a clue or there's some growth there because you've neglected it because you're not. Maybe for myself, I wasn't giving myself that self-love. Wasn't giving that and then that allows me to open up. Allows me to deal with that thing that was causing me pain.
Mm-hmm. Very interesting. So if you want to find out more about this, then obviously get in touch with Soulhaven, because this is what you guys do. It's very much a guided process. It's not about just throwing you in at the deep end. So here's what to do, off you go. You kind of walk people through the process of it's kind of asking those questions to yourself and kind of taking little steps to make small changes in your life.
Yes, and that brings you, so that's part of saying, well, asking yourself, what's the next possible step that I can do to help myself in this area? And that could be coming to Soul Haven, giving us a ring. It's not big and scary. You might feel it is, but we will be with you every step of the way.
Yeah, and I think once you've sat through 20 hours of this podcast, you'll probably feel like you know these guys, and you'll feel very comfortable giving them a ring because, that is how you are. You're just yourselves, so it's nothing scary at all, and you're there to help people and guide them through that process. Yeah. Okay, amazing. So I think we're on to the garden now. So we're going to talk a little bit about what's going on in the garden at this time of year. It's a frosty time of year. Lots of frost in the morning. Lots of icicles, icy spider webs in the trees as you walk through the garden. What kind of things are you working on at the moment to get everything ready for winter?
We're doing lots. So many people think that there is nothing to do in the garden over the winter time, but actually it's all about preparation and tidying up and completing the cycle of the garden and then starting to nurture and things. So we're cleaning away all the old plants that aren't doing anything anymore. We've had nasturtiums out until 3 days ago when it got really cold. Bless. So any plants, any leaves, seed heads, we've collected all the seed heads now ready for next year's growth, and we're really trying to provide now a home for the winter, for the animals for the winter. So we've got hedgehog houses out, we've got like the little bee and bug hotels out and about now as well, and we're leaving the little bits of fluff they find, all the feathers that we find, we're gathering up ready for the bees and things. So so it also helps all the little microbiomes in the earth and things as well. So but it's really beautiful out there at the moment. I love the winter mornings. Don't like
yes, very crisp. I like this sort of weather where it's not raining, it's just crisp and obviously very cold at the moment. It's been like dipping below freezing, but you can go out and enjoy it. If you've got like scarf and gloves on, you can just go out and enjoy the fresh air, and it's great. And I think also this time of year there's leaves everywhere. They're just starting to rot now and mulch down, and it's important, I think, to use those and put them on your flower beds maybe, because it's a great kind of fertilizer, isn't it?
Oh yeah, it really is. So we've actually picked up so last year's leaves we actually put into a compost bin, and we've taken those out and put those onto the bed now, and then we're just busy almost like every day at the moment raking up all the other leaves, and then they'll go into the compost bin and they'll sit there and do their composty thing that they need to do, and that will be ready for next year on the compost as well. But if you don't have leaves, you can do straw, you can do wood chip, you can do many different things to nurture the land. Think about it as in like tucking it up like in a big quilt. Keeping all the little buggies warm.
And there might be areas, if you've got a big pile of leaves or stuff all in a pile, maybe just leave those, because that might be places where things like hedgehogs or would be hibernating in. Also because at this time of year, they tend to, if there's piles of sticks and stuff, they can go into those to kind of find cover. So leaving those areas as they are, if there's no reason to uncover it and move it, it's only like areas of the paths where we're moving the stuff out the way so we can collect those things off that have come off the edges and use them in a practical way. For later, we'll put in on things like straw, wood chip, or even new compost on top of stuff, just so that the earth's not just bare.
So feeding your soil is important at this time of year. getting ready and putting. So the soil has worked really, really hard throughout spring, summer and autumn, and now is the nurturing time of the soil, putting back all the nutrition that we've used up whilst we've been growing produce and things. And it's also about preparing it ready for the next year. So you can use green manure plants if you'd like. Just a little tip though, don't let them go to seed, because that's all you'll grow for the next few years. We learned that one with things. So yes, so don't let them go to seed, but once they're grown and before they go to seed, you can actually just dig them in, or actually push them over and cover them with your manure, your bark chips and things as well. Or you can always use well matured manure if you've got a local farmer, or horse riding aquarium, riding
Equestrian.
stable. That's the words I'm looking for. Yeah, it's not fish.
That's seahorses you're thinking in the aquarium.
Yeah, but anything you know, sometimes you've got a neighbour who's got horses and things, and ask them if you can have a free bag or two of manure to put round. Just make sure it's well matured, because if it's too fresh, then it actually burns the soil and kills the little microorganisms in there. So yeah, well rotted manure is very, very good.
Does it smell better when it's well rotted than fresh manure, or does it still stink?
Smells, does it?
If it's well rotted,
No, I don't think it's.
Oh, that's all right.
I don't know whether it's because we're so used to it.
No. When it's well rotted, it loses the smell, because it's those things are.
Passed on.
The chemical reaction has happened. It's like nitrogen or something, isn't it, that comes off it?
No.
Okay, that's good news, especially if you're picking up a load of manure in your car boot and you don't really want that as an air freshener in your vehicle. Okay, and then it's also important to look after vulnerable plants at this time of year, isn't it?
Absolutely, it is. If you want to save plants ready for next year, and we learnt this the hard way actually, Chris, because we didn't do it for the first 2 years. But yeah, wrap your vulnerable plants in fleeces, wrap straw around their roots, but just actually give them a blanket. And that will help protect not so much the leaves, but it will actually help protect the roots, and that will grow again in spring or summer next year. Give them a little bit of survival kit and first aid kit for the harsh weathers that go on with things. So there is plenty to do.
Well, it makes sense, doesn't it? Because you wouldn't leave your pets out in the garden during a sharp frost. Your little hamster, there wouldn't be much left in the morning. And it's the same with plants. You've got to look after them.
Yes, we do.
Make sure they're okay.
Yeah.
And then looking after your tools.
Yeah. So the tools have also worked hard over the last few months as well. Sometimes we end up just popping them back away into the tool shed or the toolbox and not even thinking about how dirty we put them away and things. So this really is a good time on those nice sunny mornings just to get out there and give them a good wash. And once you've washed them, if you just brush some regular oil onto them. I say regular, it could be your kitchen oil onto them, so it helps protect from the rust, because the rust could damage the plants or the soils next year along the way. So yes, look after them. They last longer as well, so just give your tools a little bit of a nurture along the way.
Yeah, I must admit I've been guilty of that in the past, and it's not only the handle goes rusty. Well, if it's a wooden handle, the wood will rot, and then the metal bit on the end, whatever tool it is, that will go rusty. And sometimes you're digging a hole and you're just left with a stick. So,
yeah, we had an incident of that this last week actually, where somebody was raking with the rake and it snapped into two, and it was like, oh, okay. There we go.
That's the end of the rake.
Yep.
That's good, and it's a nice way to respect and thank the tools that make it all possible, because it'd be quite hard to do it with your bare hands, although not impossible. But yes. Okay, brilliant. So let's get on to food now, which is my favourite bit of the podcast. I'm talking about lovely recipes, and we're taking our taste buds over to Thailand for this one.
Yes. This is one of my all-time. I have a lot of favourites. I know I keep saying, "Oh, this is my favourite. This is my favourite." But pad thai is really, really good. It's very simple to make. It's very quick to make, and obviously, it's got a lot of the warming herbs in there, like the ginger and the chili, and things. So actually, keeps you a lot warmer as well. So yes, it really is a suggestion of a recipe. So you can have your carrots, your spring onions, lots of garlic, because we are garlic lovers, and obviously garlic keeps the bugs at bay. I put turmeric in mine as well, and tofu. Now, when I say tofu you can have two types. So you've got the silken tofu, or you've got the firm tofu. Silken tofu is great for your desserts or your creamy cheesecakes and things, but in this one we use firm tofu, and you can get it in most supermarkets nowadays.
So you got a bit of chewiness in your Thai curry, because you want something to bite into.
Yeah, definitely. And obviously the tofu's really high in protein, so it's like a substitute for a meat substitute along the way. So yeah, plenty of ginger. You can have courgettes in there, you can have peppers in there, mushrooms in there, but chop all your vegetables up to a similar size. And then I do it with rice noodles, but you can do it with boiled rice, pilaf rice, lime and coconut rice if you so wish, and things as well. So yes, but I do it with rice noodles just because I like them and it looks full on the plate. So yeah, so I would say prepare all your vegetables first. Like I say, this is quite a quick cooking time. Prepare all your vegetables, chop them up to similar sizes, so they all cook evenly at the same time, and then fry them off. Add in the tofu. You can then add in all your spices, your ginger, your chili, and then I also add in mine a stock cube. Peanut butter is a must, or any other nut butter, yeah. And then a little bit of stock water as well. So we like ours really saucy rather than a dry rice noodle. But yes, mix it all up together, and the secret ingredient is fresh lime.
Oh, nice.
Yes, fresh lime is in there as well. So yeah, so you want to put your lime in quite near the end, because obviously the more you cook the lime, then you don't get the healing properties from the lime. So the lime really is like the last squeeze. And then, like I say, over a bed of rice noodles, and literally 10 minutes, you're done. Dinner's ready. Lunch
So tofu,
ready.
does that cook a lot quicker than meat would?
Yes. So tofu you could actually slice and eat cold straight out the packet if you wanted to. So it is literally just soy protein, which is all done. So yes, literally just chop it up into similar sizes to your vegetables. And you can have smoked tofu. Certain supermarkets do sweet chili tofu, or natural tofu. Oh gosh, yeah, you can have marinated tofu in all sorts of things right now from many of the different supermarkets. But it's very easy, it's very quick, and obviously you're getting the warming herbs inside of you to keep you warm a little bit longer along the way. So yes, my tofu pad thai.
Yeah, it sounds amazing. And then you just eat it straight away with your rice noodles or your rice or whatever.
Yeah.
Bit of bread to dip in maybe, and off you go.
Yeah.
Yum.
Yeah, all really good. You can sprinkle the top with sesame seeds if you want to, whether it's the black sesame seeds, toasted sesame seeds, just to give you a little bit more protein. Sesame seeds are really good for you. But yeah.
Yeah, that sounds so tasty. I cannot wait for that. And very nice warming winter dish, but filling as well, substantial. That would definitely keep you going. Brilliant. Thank you very much.
That's okay.
And of course, you can find all the recipes that we feature on the podcast in Natasha's book. Just ready to go. She can't wait to be asked. Did I mention the recipe book? So 31 quick and easy vegan recipes for any time of the day to get you started on your plant-based journey, the Loving Chef Recipe Collection, and that is available from Amazon in time for Christmas.
Yeah,
Excellent.
absolutely. Yeah, it takes 3 or 4 days to get to you, but just allow that bit of time. But you can find the link on our on our Soul Haven website, and that will take you straight to the Amazon page if need be, and things. So yeah, and it's got QR codes in there as well. So here's a pad thai. You've got QR codes in there. Scan the QR code, and it takes you to a lovely video of me in my kitchen, and we cook along together from the recipe.
Brilliant.
So,
Are you doing any Black Friday deals where you get some vegetables in the jiffy bag with the book, or?
I love that. It's a good cheeky ask, that one, Chris.
Wrapped in tofu when it arrives. Yeah.
Yeah.
Sounds good. So yeah,
Definitely.
that's definitely a good stocking filler. Okay,
Yeah.
well, we're nearly towards the end of...
Yeah. Do we have time for drumming?
Oh, yeah, sorry. It wasn't on my,
It was
my running
another break,
order.
I know.
We skipped over
It
it,
was
yeah.
very much the last minute Samuel joining us. Yes, he managed to get back in time from his
Yes,
travels.
let's have some drumming. What have you brought along?
I have a djembe.
Aha. Yes, we've had this instrument before, haven't we? So remind me about the drum.
The djembe, so its roots are in Africa. Traditionally, it's made with wood base with goat skin top. You can buy them with synthetic heads nowadays, and it's used in many cultures now. It's many people use it as a drum.
And what are we going to do today?
I don't know. That's good.
We can do some drumming with it, maybe.
We're going to do some drumming.
Why
Make
not?
some
Yeah.
noise,
You
make
could
some
wear it like a hat, but I think it would be better to use it as a drum.
Does it?
Oh, it's very fetching. It looks quite heavy.
That's going to make him about 9 foot tall.
Yeah, you'd need to widen your door frames.
Yes. Yes. Yeah. So I'm going to just do some drumming. So just take a moment just to relax. Just take a deep breath in through the nose and out through the mouth. This just helps ground you. And I'm just going to just do some drumming. Just close your eyes and just.
Brilliant. Thank you very much. I love the way it faded out at the end. It kind of got quieter. Yes. Beautiful. Thank you. Is it different doing it indoors than out in the garden with the acoustics when you're in a room like that?
Yes, it is. Especially this time of year, the drum doesn't like the damp weather.
Yeah, don't we all? Okay, well that was lovely. Thank you very much for that. I hope we're all feeling nice and relaxed and centered
Ready
with
to
the
have
drum.
my afternoon nap now.
I know, it's really hypnotic. It's just always puts me in a very, very calm and relaxed frame of mind. And I forget that we're in the middle of a podcast, so we do need to carry on talking. As much as I like to just kind of just sit down and just contemplate the world for a little while. So at the end of the podcast every time, we bring out the special cards and pull out a card to give us some inspiration for the week. Can you get these cards as Christmas presents on the website when you're buying the recipe book? You can get your own set.
Yes, you can actually, yeah. They are on the website. I know we are running low on stock, so please do let us know as soon as you can with things. But yeah, absolutely. We've got several different things on the website with product page, different variety of books, colouring books. You can get your own pack of these amazing Zen cards and affirmation cards as well. So yeah, check that out for a unique Christmas present.
Yeah, I mean, on the website, the link for the cooking book is from Amazon, but if you do want to have like a package, you can contact us, and we've got the colouring books, we've got the Zen cards, we've got the cooking books, so you can give us a ring and we can put together something for you.
But these are inspirational cards. They can't be used for playing poker or doing magic tricks.
No, they're not much good for poker because they don't actually have any
numbers on.
numbers on them.
No. I'll raise you a whatever.
I'll raise you two cards. I'll raise you optimism.
Optimism.
Yeah. Bless. Okay, so optimism, Chris, we've picked out today.
Yes, one of my favourite words, because I think optimism is a great quality to have. Not everybody has it in abundance. I think it's like a spectrum between pessimism and optimism. Not everybody is optimistic the whole time. Not everyone's pessimistic the whole time. Everybody kind of cycles between the two, depending on how you're feeling. And I think you can approach the same situation in different ways. But I always try and be looking on the bright side, glass half full kind of perspective. And I think you can apply that to everything in life. But it's always good to be optimistic, I think, and just, think about the good things that could happen more than the bad things that can happen in everything in life.
Absolutely.
Yeah. And I also think if you are around, what's the opposite to optimism? Pessimism, thank you. If you're around a lot of people who are very pessimistic, it's draining. It's really draining, and you come away thinking, oh my gosh, that was like a deep, heavy conversation or a negative conversation all the time. So to be what we put out there, we actually receive back. So more and more optimism is gratefully welcomed in our beautiful circle here at Soul Haven.
Yeah, you get a lot of people that just spend their whole time moaning about everything in the world, and especially when you start talking about politics and stuff, that everybody's got something to moan about.
Yeah, so. We don't touch politics. So good card to pull.
Good card. Samuel, what do you think about optimism?
Yes, having a positive outlook, it helps. Sometimes I was encouraged by my therapist when I was feeling very depressed and seeing everything as black. It was like, I don't know how to see something, so just imagine, just start to say things positive, start to have that act of positivity. So, there is a balance. You can't always. There are times when sadness happens. There are times for sadness, and there's times when you're sad to look towards something that you would like to do. So it's not necessarily false happiness. It's like I would look forward. What would you like to do? Well, I like to go and dance. Well, so the optimism and the happiness, the positive is, well, what is my step towards that? What is my step to move away from where I am towards a different perspective? So it's not always immediately I'm jumping from sadness into positivity, but I'm taking that one step. Well, what's the next step? So that's more step towards something. So I can start to change that perspective if I can't make that big leap.
Yeah.
It's so true, because optimism is really that ability to have a hopeful vision of what your future could be. And
Yes.
It's not saying that you know that it's definitely going to happen, but unless you can envision it and kind of think about what it could look like, it's never going to happen. You need you need to visualize it somehow, and you can't do that if you don't have that certain level of optimism.
Yeah, and then people kept asking me, well, what does the future look like? And I kept going, I don't know. What's the next step like? I don't know. What do you want? I don't know. And so, well, choose something. Think that, make that step towards something. And so I was like, well, I did a lot with Action for Happiness. There was this thing of, well, I'm going to start to look at something and choose. I want to be happy. Okay, that's. I don't know what I want to do with life. I want to be in a better place. I want to feel better. So that's what I did.
It must be. Yeah, I think that's one of the most awful things when you are feeling a bit depressed, is just that bleak feeling of like you've got nothing to look forward to, and you don't have any hopes and dreams, and it's just you think about the future and it's just dark and empty and depressing. And then as soon as you start coming up with some ideas of things that would be nice, then it gives you something to aim towards, and having that optimism is so important.
Yeah, and that's really helped as a therapist. Just 2 minutes doing something different, 2 minutes of some new hobby, something new, something different to change that pattern.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Excellent. Right, I'm looking forward to next time, because I've just seen some hints as to what we've got to look forward to. So, tell me what's going to be happening next time on the podcast.
Roll. Okay. You can see we're getting into the Christmas spirit of things here at Soulhaven. So Anthony is going to join us to share his story and why he joined Soulhaven as a director a year ago. So yes, we need to be gentle with him. He's a bit nervous, but
has he been? He hasn't been on before.
No. Yeah, he is making his debut on the radio, and actually getting out of his comfort zones and actually doing something a little bit different in his world. So yes, so looking forward to sharing that and being with that. And then we're going to get ready for the big Christmas day, obviously, as that's just around the corner. How we cope with stress, the pressure, and also how do we deal with the excitement, especially if you've got little ones around. How do you deal with that excitement and not get overwhelmed and overloaded and sucked into late nights and early mornings or no sleeping patterns and things as well. So yeah, and then the recipe, I've decided I'm going to share with you a very easy vegan cashew nut cheese recipe with rosemary, cranberry and a nut crust that will look absolutely fabulous on your cheese board for Christmas Day.
I am literally salivating already. Those are all my favourite things. Rosemary, cranberry, the cashew nuts, cheese. Oh wow, that's just going to be amazing. So yeah, cannot wait for that. Thank you so much for joining us today on the podcast. Have a great week, and we will see you next time on A Good Life at Soulhaven. Thank you, guys.
Thank you. Good to see you.
You have been listening to A Good Life with Soulhaven. Don't forget to like and subscribe to this podcast for the latest episode, and get in touch with the show if you have any questions or comments. For more details about Soulhaven, please visit slhavens.co.uk.